corporations don't want or can't use or something like this. It's the other way around. It's technologies that they cannot resist. You know that I know a little bit about China, and I've been there a few times. And the idea is that the Chinese government, and the Chinese government is a rough government, the Chinese government tried very hard to make it impossible for the internet to spread in China. Now, at this point, everybody in China can watch the internet and finds out an awful lot over the internet, including, by the way, very much about the most recent trends in music. And in Beijing, people dance to the most recent techno music, which partly has been created in Detroit, of which I'm quite proud. So, the idea is that these are technologies that the big ones cannot resist. The Chinese government, which is not made up of soft children, tried to prevent the spread of the internet, but the internet spread anyway. In the same kind of way, they will probably try to prevent the spread of this, but there is earth all over the place, and the ingredients for this glue are very simple, so they will not be able to resist that. So the technologies are stronger than the representatives of the old system. So it's not that we expect them to lie down and accept this, it's that we will win. And we will win in entrepreneurial terms, because these things are technologically superior. Just like you, here in Germany that isn't obvious yet, but in Detroit it is absolute. Let me interject. I work very intensely in Detroit, and I'm in charge of the economic development of Highland Park, which is the central part of Detroit. In Detroit, every child has found out that American cars are not selling, and therefore both, well, all three, Ford and Chrysler and General Motors, are on the very verge of bankruptcy. They may go bankrupt in spite of what money they have been given by the end of March. That's perfectly possible. So it will become obvious that our concept of mobility is entrepreneurially superior, because it will sell and people will use it, and it is much more effective, and this is cheaper than a Cadillac.
If we take this example, so how is it getting into circulation? How is it becoming an important economic tool? Is there somebody who sells it? Is it a mass production by people? Is there somebody to organize the people, to tell them you should start with that? What is the, I'm always very down to earth.
No.
Who is going to implement that in a way that it spreads?
Well, it's funny, because I had dinner with this person 2 days ago in Johannesburg, and I said, I know Günther is going to ask me this question. Who does it? And I said, can I say you will do it? And she said, yeah, you can say I will do it. So you call up Lerato Tahane in Johannesburg, who is some lady, I'm telling you, and she is among the people. And I'll give you more of an answer. That is not a joke. I mean, part of what... No, it's a well-known fact that almost all of the development projects have failed.
Yes.
And that the whole development institution is very demoralized. Now, from the GTZ is the German branch of economic development. Now, one of the things that actually has happened quite a few times is that the GTZ, the GTZ, has invited this person, little Fritjof. They have asked me to come and give lectures on what they do wrong. And it's easy to tell them what they do wrong. I mean, they basically invent something in Göttingen or in Tübingen or at some technical university, and then they make it perfect as things are made in Germany, and then they bring it to Kenya and put it there and walk away. And then everybody says, what the fuck was, what was that about? You know, and please cut that out, okay? And the idea is that in contrast to that, we work patiently. We work for years with people. You know this. No, I've been flying to South Africa for 7 years, and and their children I've seen grown up, and they know me very, very well. And I explain technologies to them, and Lerato explains technology to them, and it is spreading, but slowly. But they create the enterprises, but we teach them how to create the enterprises, and we may need you to help us to teach us how to teach them. So you are hired.
I didn't really understand so clearly what it is used for. I can break it, and it's a compound mass of something that is fitting, let's say, for planting a garden or something?
No. Oh, sorry, that's my mistake. His question. This is just a sample, which is small enough so I could carry it in my suitcase. What in the first place is being made with this is building blocks that are about this size, and building blocks that are made like Lego, so that they fit into each other, so that you don't need mortar. And they're very tight, and you can look into the internet, and there are many buildings, beautiful buildings, made out of bricks from this material. So bricks is one of the main things. The other thing is roads. The other thing is what I would call tanks. Roofs, and the water comes down, and you need to conserve the water in a hole. And you can dig a hole and then sort of line it with this. And this I should show you. I don't know whether I can do this, but I will try. Well, have a look. Do you see? The water does not sink in. It does not absorb water. You can touch it. So these things are extremely water resistant, which may be the key to how parts of Africa will survive, because we need something to conserve the water, and this will do it.
So a simple technology that is accessible to almost everybody. It is cheap, and it has functions that products would have in our country, but far too expensive, and with a technology not available for everybody or accessible to ordinary people. Is it like that?
Well, that is now a question that we should really talk about. That is, let me first add one thing and then come to your question. The very first few times, and you probably know about this, the very first few times that I sort of drove around in an old car in Africa, I noticed that most of the roofs are made out of what you call Wellblech, out of tin, which has a simple consequence. In the night you catch pneumonia, and in the day it bakes you into a flat piece of bread. It's incredibly hot and incredibly cold at the same time. So with this, that was one of the first things I tried to do in Africa, to say you need roofs, you need different roofs. You need roofs that keep you warm at night and roofs that keep you cool during the day, or the whole thing is no good. So with this you can make roofs, and that's a very important step in this whole development. Now when you say, but they're not the right technologies.